In a heart-wrenching development that's rocked the rugby league community, South Sydney Rabbitohs standout Tyrone Munro faces serious domestic violence allegations, sparking urgent conversations about safety, accountability, and the pressures of fame in professional sports. But here's where it gets controversial. How should high-profile athletes be held to account when accusations like this surface? And what role should their clubs play in the process? Let's break this down step by step for clarity, especially for those new to the world of sports news or legal proceedings. Tyrone Munro, a key player for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, a prominent team in Australia's National Rugby League, NRL, which is the top-tier competition for rugby league football, was charged by New South Wales NSW Police following an alleged incident of domestic violence that reportedly occurred back in April 2025. To put that into perspective, the NRL is like the NFL of rugby league in Australia, where players train rigorously, perform under intense public scrutiny, and represent their communities both on and off the field. According to NSW Police, the investigation kicked off on a Monday when a woman came forward claiming she had been assaulted by her partner during that earlier incident. Officers from the Auburn Police Area Command took the lead, diving deep into the details. As a result, a 20-year-old man, identified as Munro, was arrested and brought to Auburn Police Station. He now faces multiple charges, including assault occasioning actual bodily harm, which basically means causing real physical injury in a domestic setting, stalking or intimidating with the intent to cause fear of physical harm, again in a domestic context, and common assault, a general offense involving unwanted physical contact, also domestic related. These charges highlight the gravity of domestic violence, a serious issue that affects far too many lives and often goes unreported due to fear or stigma. For beginners, it's important to understand that domestic violence isn't just about fights. It's a pattern of abusive behavior that can include physical harm, emotional manipulation, or threats. And laws in places like Australia take it very seriously to protect victims. Munro has been released on conditional bail, meaning he must meet certain conditions to stay out of custody until his court appearance. He's scheduled to face Burwood Local Court on Thursday, October 30th, 2025, where the case will likely be heard by a magistrate to determine next steps. And this is the part most people miss. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, the club Munro plays for, released an official statement on Tuesday evening. They acknowledged the alleged incident and the police charges against their player, Tyrone Munro. Importantly, the club said they've already notified the NRL's Integrity Unit, which is like an internal watchdog for the league, handling matters of player conduct, ethics, and compliance to ensure fair play and off-field behavior. In the statement, the Rabbitohs emphasized that they treat all allegations of domestic violence with the utmost seriousness. He vowed to take appropriate action if the accusations and charges are proven true. However, since this is an active police investigation, the club isn't sharing any more details at this time, which is a standard approach to avoid interfering with legal processes. This situation raises big questions about the intersection of sports and society. Domestic violence is a scourge that no one, whether a celebrity, athlete, or everyday person, should ignore. But is there a double standard when it comes to how quickly public figures are scrutinized versus others? Some might argue that clubs like the Rabbitohs should suspend players immediately upon charges, while others believe in due process and waiting for evidence. What if Munro's innocent? What does that say about trial by media in the age of social sharing? As we follow this story, it's a reminder that addressing domestic violence requires everyone, individuals, communities, and institutions, to step up. For instance, organizations like the NRL have programs in place to educate players on respectful behavior, much like how other sports leagues worldwide promote awareness campaigns. Yet, incidents like this show there's still room for improvement in prevention and response. What are your thoughts on this unfolding drama? Do you think the Rabbitohs' cautious stance is the right move, or should they take stronger immediate action? And broader question, Should athletes face extra scrutiny in domestic disputes, or should the legal system treat everyone equally? We'd love to hear your opinions. Agree or disagree in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going responsibly.